When the public needs help, they call 911. But when HPD officers need help, who do they call? Meet the HPD Chaplaincy Corp. They are HPD personnel from various religious faiths who assist at times of loss, depression, confusion, or grief. They report out of the Peer Support Unit and represent one of several intervention services and resources to all HPD employees and their families.
The Chaplaincy Corps is represented by several denominations, but as we go in there, we represent the department as chaplains, and we leave our denominational labels behind.
All the police chaplains are ministers on the civilian side, and we're volunteers.
I see my role as a chaplain as being one of a support system.
When there are stressful moments in the lives of our divisions and our districts, and that's where we come in.
And we are there mainly to minister to whoever and whenever we are called.
The Chaplain Corps began in 1985 under Chief Douglas Gibb, who saw the need for positive guidance among the men and women of HPD. One of our most celebrated chaplains was Sister Roberta Julie Derby, or as many called her, Chaplain 1.
She basically organized our program, worked out the training for us, and she, as a result, helped our program to grow. Now, Sister, obviously, she had a lot of impact and influence in our department, and she was well respected, and even to this day, many of the people still remember Sister Roberta Julie Derby in what she meant to our department and what she did.
She was the first female police chaplain in the United States and the only chaplain to receive the Honolulu Police Department's Warrior Silver Medal of Valor in 1980, when she defused a hostage situation involving an armed man who threatened to kill his son. Sister Roberta was appointed to the full-time position of Police Counselor Chaplain Coordinator in 1989 and held this position until her death in 1996. The park adjacent to the HPD headquarters is named in her honor. Though the HPD chaplains do not enforce traffic or criminal laws, they still go through over 100 hours of training at Kikuta Training Academy in Waipahu alongside HPD police recruits. Some of these include drug identification and awareness, family violence, and first aid, AED, and CPR training.
We do not do any law enforcement like the officers do. We are not officer or police wannabes. We are there as ministers to the officers, as chaplains.
Riding with the officers, you'd think that it's when you see all that action, making an arrest or chasing bad guys down, that's really exciting and a lot of fun. But you know, it's the downtime. Those are the times that I really feel that I get to see that these officers, even though they work really hard, they're human too.
We understand the specific stresses they go through as officers, and so in that sense we are able to sympathize and empathize with them and to respond with advice or counsel, but mainly to develop a relationship of friendship and trust. So once they trust us and we get behind that proverbial blue wall that separates the police officers from the rest of society, once we get beyond that blue wall, we are considered one of them.
And so it takes time to build up the trust, but once the trust is built, it's there for life.
And anytime, 24/7, if they need us, they can call us.
And we need everyone's support. We're there officially to help, but everyone in the community can be a support system to the Honolulu Police Department. They put their life on the line for us every day.
Though most of HPD chaplains were leaders in their congregations and communities before joining HPD, there have been several who initially started as HPD officers and dispatchers before responding to their higher calling. One in particular is Chaplain Pascua, who initially rose through the ranks as a detective before leaving the department in 2001 to attend seminary and become a pastor.
So my time as a police officer was about 18 years, and in 2008 is when I became a chaplain for the police department, as well as a chaplain for the Hawaii Army National Guard. And my first tour was to Kuwait, and then I deployed again to Afghanistan in 2013. And that was a challenge. You know, it was a great opportunity to be with the soldiers, be with our men and women from Hawaii as we deploy to a foreign country. But for me as a chaplain, I found it a great opportunity to be a support to them.
Another HPD chaplain who is well known in the law enforcement community is Chaplain Vergara. In 1997, he became HPD's first Filipino chaplain. Later, in 2002, he became the State of Hawaii Sheriff's Division first chaplain, and in 2003, he completed the FBI training at Quantico, Virginia, to become the FBI's first Filipino chaplain. But even with his noteworthy accomplishments, Chaplain Vergara is probably best known for being a National Geographic Society photographer.
I had been with National Geographic in 10 different explorations from the Himalayas to Africa, most recently in Borneo. So I've covered the wildlife as well as other things in between. But I've been to all the major continents. Africa especially, I spent 37 days and finished 17 countries. Went back again about a year ago, covered 2 more. It has given me pleasure and also the challenge to look at things in a different way, not only artistically, but how I can move people to empathize with the photographs that I have.
Working for the chaplaincy for Honolulu Police Department has increased my sensitivity towards how much the Honolulu Police Department does on behalf of our community.
Police officers have a hard life in a way that they are needed. At the same time, they are abused by some segments of the community.
Sometimes we have to remind them that they're doing a really good job out there, and that we really appreciate them.
I think it's good for the public to know that police officers are being supported emotionally, spiritually, and whenever police officers encounter a difficult situation emotionally and they need someone to be there for them, the chaplains are there for them.